Good morning, everybody. It's 7:28 right now, and time for the Merkle Retirement Minute, as it's time to chat a little bit with a guy who's become a good friend of ours, Jackie, in short time.
Well, there's a great staff that works at Merkle Retirement as they're continuing to help you with your planning for your future. So very excited to say good morning to Chawn Honkomp. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Thanks for the warm introduction. Great to be with you again.
Great. Chawn is a CPA, Certified Financial Fiduciary. I love that word. What a great title that is. Very fancy schmancy. But we are talking about where you should be saving for retirement, and we said should be saving because collecting as much money as you possibly can before retirement, that is key. But where that money goes, Jackie, is just as important.
Absolutely. So what is some great advice you can give our viewers this morning?
It is important to be thoughtful about where we save our money. Lou, you nailed it. I mean, at the core, the more important thing is that we save as much money as we can, as soon as we can, for as long as we can. Otherwise, right, we don't really need to worry about where we're putting it if we're not saving it to begin with. But we do find that we want to be more intentional with where we are saving the money. What we see most often, the most common retirement savings bucket is the 401k, right? If we're all fortunate enough to have an employer that offers the 401k, we start saving into that financial vehicle as part of that first job, and then as we change jobs going forward throughout our working career. What we often see, though, is that we aren't intentional and thoughtful about, how much to be saving and then what other buckets or financial tools that we might want to utilize. Most of the money that goes into the 401k is of the pre-tax nature, meaning we get that deferral for the current year and then we get that employer match, and all of that money that we're saving in there is subject to tax in future years. We want to start thinking about, should we start creating tax diversification, utilizing maybe Roth, 401k or Roth IRA vehicles, and then maybe even the taxable bucket, meaning we take the money home, we don't put it into either pre-tax or Roth, and we just start building that emergency fund savings and maybe open up like brokerage accounts and things like that.
Yeah, but I think you hit the nail on the head when you said you have to, collect the money, but then you are going to be paying future taxes on it. And I've always wanted to ask this question, so I'm going to throw it out to you, Chawn. What would be the harm if somebody is starting to collect their money for retirement and pay their taxes up front? As Lauren always said, taxes are on sale right now. Pay them right off the bat, so when the money is building, it builds up tax-free, basically. That would be a strategy that I wish I would have done a long time ago.
Yeah, the only harm would be that if we're wrong, right? If we pay taxes today and then our tax rates are lower in the future, then maybe that wasn't the best financial decision. But you are right. We look at tax, the current tax rates, and we look at the history of the tax rate environment, and we do feel that taxes are on sale, right? We have a lowest rate of 10%. We have a highest rate of 37%. And we've seen those numbers be much higher. And I think knowing that the current Tax Cuts Act that we're under right now expires 12/31 of 2025, we know taxes are going up 1/1 of 2026. So as everybody stands today, we all have 6 tax returns that we get to file underneath these current tax rates. And that's assuming that things don't change prior to then. We all know that we have an election coming up in less than 3 months. So public policy can always change, but as we stand today, we have low tax rates, and we should take advantage of those wherever possible.
So I think the big word that we're using today is taxes. How big of a difference can that make, and what's the big takeaway that people should know this morning?
I think the big takeaway is really just to create tax diversification, right? Tax risk is one of the risks we face as we get into and go through retirement. We can't control what Uncle Sam does to it. We're going to continue to pay taxes every year, no matter what. Nobody enjoys that part, right? We don't celebrate paying taxes, and it's even harder, right? The opportunities can be there for our families to maybe save some of that Roth money, pay more taxes in the current year, but that is a psychological hurdle. Nobody really wants to do that. Where we kind of grow up, we go through those accumulation years being taught and told to defer, right? Kick that can down the road, work with your CPA and try to make your current year tax liability the least amount possible. But as we talk about, if tax rates are higher in the future, then really we're kicking that can down the road, and then we possibly have a tax tidal wave coming our way as a lot of families may be in a position where every single dollar they take out as you get into distribution phase in retirement is subject to tax.
All right, talking about that tax tidal wave, on average, like now, say somebody is retiring today and they want to start taking some of this money out and using it, what's the average amount of taxes that they would pay? Is it percentage-wise, or what's the grid?
Yeah, those middle tier brackets, I mentioned before, we have a 10% bracket and 12% bracket, but we see most households are getting into that 22 and 24% tax brackets, which consistent with everything else, those are historically low based on where those same rates have been. And as we talked about, January 1st of 2026, that 22% rate is set to go up to 25. The 24 is set to go up to 28. So it's a few percentage points higher, but most people prefer to be tax efficient, and most people would elect to say, hey, I would like to pay the least amount possible to Uncle Sam. So even a few percentage points can have a significant impact on how successful your retirement may look.
Yeah, you've been working hard for that money. You
Right.
want as much of it as possible. It's like, what? Sometimes I think you retire and you don't have to worry about paying Uncle Sam anymore, but he still wants his due diligence as well. So if people want more information on the right choices they should be making right now in their life, whether they're getting ready to retire soon or maybe they have a few years down the road before they're making these big decisions, how can you guys help them out?
The best place to go would be go to our website at merkleplan.com. That's MERKLE. There you're going to see any of the current classes or virtual trainings that we have going on, virtual workshops that we have available. We have one going tomorrow night up in Ankeny at the FFA Enrichment Center. And then we're always going to have some future ones out there as well. We have virtual workshops that can be accessible at different times. But one of the best things has been going on lately and was really a result of COVID is we're doing our 15-minute retirement checkup phone call. And that's just been going really well. I know sometimes going to meet with a financial advisor may not be the most fun thing on your to-do list, and you're a little nervous on maybe what that experience is going to be like. But having these 15-minute phone calls has just been smooth and convenient, really, for both sides. If they have a few questions, if you or your family has a few questions, it gives you an opportunity to talk through those. And then maybe we can help you out. If you're interested more on just, you want to get a little better feel on who the heck we are, that 15 minutes or so gives you an opportunity to just learn more about us as well.
I love the 15-minute phone call, especially, and you would get excited about calling you guys because you are telling people how they can keep more of their money and spend it in their retirement, which should get everybody excited.
Absolutely. And many options, like you said, if you want to be in person, on the phone, virtually, all those options available through Merkle Retirement.
Hey, Chawn, any spots left for tomorrow night over at the FFA building up in Ankeny?
Yeah, I think we do have room. I know we're going to keep it socially distant, which is a requirement.
Right.
So we're going to space it out, but I do think we have room for a few more.
Okay.
And if that one fills up, we know we'll have another one coming, in the near future as well.
All right, cool. Yeah, it's 6 o'clock tomorrow. So an hour and a half, you get in and get out. So that's perfect.
All right, Chawn, always great to see you. Thank you for some great advice this morning.
Stay safe,
Thank
buddy.
you guys. Have a great week. You
You
too.
too.
You
Bye.
too. All right.